Afternoon, Dave.
Afternoon.
How do you and the team approach the challenge that lies ahead?
Recognize the things we did well last night, recognize some of the mistakes we made, and get right back on the horse and get at it. It's great that we played today. Get right back at it. You don't have to wallow in the last night's loss. You get right back at it, and had a good meeting this morning. Hopefully we show up tonight ready to play.
Despite the results so far, you've been getting pretty consistent play between the pipes. Can you comment on the significance of Smith's play for your club so far in the series?
Games have all been tight. We need good goaltending if you're going to be competitive in the playoffs. Schmidt's played well for us.
Derek Van Dies, post media.
Hi, Dave. Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. There's usually kind of a grieving process and a cycle you go through to kind of accept and then move on and then look forward to the next challenge. You don't have that time. So when you tell the players, listen, we got to do what we got to do tonight, forget about tomorrow, is it a good thing that you're playing tonight then, as opposed to having that day to grieve?
First of all, I don't know. You grieve when somebody passes away. We lost a hockey game, so we're not grieving on anybody. We're pissed off that we lost, and we got to get back on the horse and get going here. So if you feel sorry for yourself, or you're going to wallow around for a few days, then we're going to be in trouble. If we get back on the horse and get out there and get to work and do some of the same things that we did last night, well, take some of the situations where we kind of beat ourselves, then we'll be fine. We'll have a chance to win. But most of that game, we played well. We played well, really well. Even in the third period, we doubled the scoring chances that they had in the third period. We took a poor penalty, didn't get it killed, and had a couple turnovers, and didn't get it cleaned up for the rest of our group. So that's on us. But we can go back and play well again, and there's no reason why we can't play well and win.
You're right. Saying that, you still feel that if you play your best game, you're still a better team, and you'll be able to extend the series.
If we play our best game, it gives us the best chance to win. Simple as that. We played for long stretches of that game last night. We played well. There's mistakes that happen in a game. Happens for both teams. It's how you clean them up after. And when you make a mistake, don't compound it with another mistake. And those are the ones that usually come back and bite you. And that was a bit of the case last night for us. So there's parts of that game, hey, we liked our start. We wanted a better start. We had a good start, got going. Even in the third period, things were going along fine. But we shot ourselves in the foot a little bit. Now we have to live with that, but get right back at it tonight and see if we can get a win.
Jason Greger, TSN 1260.
Dave, is that maybe what's the most frustrating about yesterday? Is that for the first 51 minutes, like, you really controlled that game and played how you wanted. So is that what you focus on? You can't ignore the 3 minutes, but do you focus more on what the majority of the game was, where you played well?
That's what you have to do. You recognize the mistakes you made, and you got to learn from those mistakes. Those are mistakes that are critical in the winning process. So you recognize the mistakes you made, and like we talked about last night, we've been solid in that area all year. That's what the frustrating thing for me is we get into a playoff where things are ramped up more and we get bit by it. Those are the frustrating ones for me. So that being said, there's enough good things there to grab onto today. We've got to make sure we show up and have that same mindset. We're going to dictate the pace of the game, have a good start to the game, and find a way to win one game.
And a quick two-parter. A, what did you like most about Barry Cuckoo as a pair last night? And B, any lineup changes today?
We're waiting to hear some word on some injury, and Archie had a chat with the league today. I haven't heard what's happened there yet, so we'll see what that all falls out later. Barry Cuckoo were solid, moved the puck pretty well, didn't bring any trouble on themselves. Cuckoo had an assist on Dry's goal, so they were a solid pair.
Mark Spector, Sportsnet.
So you talked about how you were disappointed you was the fact you'd done this so well all year, Dave, and you had. The team was really good in the third period. So does it concern you more the physical mistakes that got made, or the mental? You guys had a big mental issue last night. The team kind of couldn't handle it, right, mentally. Is that a bigger concern than the actual physical mistakes that got made?
It's both. I mean, it's the penalty that Arch took is that's one that started the ball rolling. There's turnovers that happen. The thing about the turnovers that bother me is there's turnovers all over the game all the time. It's how you react around them, and whether it's helping a guy out, getting a block shot, getting a save. I mean, there's all those things that you can take a mistake and turn it into a void issue. So those are the ones that bother you. The ability to stay strong and don't let mistakes turn into critical mistakes. That's what bothers me about last night.
So this team, you've had a really good regular season team the last 2 years, won lots of games, but we kind of write off the Chicago series last year as a goofy situation, and now you're back in the playoffs. Is this a case of it doesn't matter what happens in the regular season, the playoffs are that much different? Does this team need to accrue playoff experience to handle this stuff?
You need to learn. You need to learn how to win. Winning in the regular season is one thing, but you have to take those lessons and be able to apply them in the playoffs. And every game has been tight. Like, they're 1-goal games. Every game, you got to find a way to get on top of that. And we haven't done that yet this year.
Ryder Shaw, TSN.
Dave, just to clarify, going back to Mike Smith tonight.
Yeah.
Okay. Just in terms of the group learning the lessons and staying in the moment, did you sense that there was any looking back, any looking forward, that it was, how do you make sure that they, no matter what happens tonight, they kind of stay in that moment and stay focused? And what do you see on the bench in that regard?
What did I see on the bench last night? Or what? Ask me the question again. I don't understand. Are you talking about tonight's game, being ready for tonight's game, or what did I see last night's game?
Yeah, sorry. I'll clarify a little bit. In those moments last night, what did you see on the bench that led you to believe that you were going to be okay? And do you sense this group is able to stay in the moment when that happens?
We were talking and saying all the right things. You got to get out and do it on the ice. That's the next step for us.
Jim Allison, Post Media.
But Dave, Ethan Bear was on earlier and said when the snowball starts coming, it just feels like a helpless feeling. Do you need somebody on the ice at the time saying, okay, calm down, relax?
I just mentioned that, Jim. I just mentioned that, Jim. Everybody was saying that on the bench after Archie took the penalty. Let's get a kill. There was lots of chatter on the bench, lots of people chattering. You got to get on the ice and do it. You got to do it as 5. If one guy thinks he's going to do it all, that doesn't happen. You got to do it as 5. And for a lot of that game, we did that. But there's parts of it that, I don't buy the snowball. And teams put a push on. You got to find a way to push back, and not be scared to go out. And if we make a mistake, you got to correct it, or you got to overcome it and push back the other way. And there's times even early in the game when we're up, there was times when you have a shift that they push on you, you got to push back. But it's more than talk. You got to get out and do it.
And face-offs, obviously they weren't good enough last night. You lost on the winning goal. Not just say that one, but your face-offs have to be better.
Yeah, face-offs can be better. It's not just the centerman; it's the help around the centerman that can improve.